I can guarantee you tonight the debate is going to be something about what Mitt Romney said about Donald Trump. And I know by now everyone has watched the clip, everyone has listened to the clip, and the things that Mitt Romney was saying, as my seat slides down, the things that Mitt Romney was saying, the funny thing about it is it's nothing new to people who are looking at Donald Trump objectively. His supporters would not believe anything that Mitt Romney said. In fact, everything that Mitt Romney said is actually going to backfire and do the exact opposite in the primaries. Donald Trump, and we've been talking about this for a while on our show, because one, not because we're past that threshold. Remember when everyone was trying to figure out if we can stop Donald Trump by not talking about him or ignoring him in the media? We are well past that threshold now. It's beyond the point where ignoring him is any type of possibility. So forget about that. We talk about him because just from a political science perspective, it is fascinating to see what Donald Trump is doing to the Republican Party. That's number one. But then also, it's fascinating to see someone who can say the most repulsive things not be taken down, but actually get stronger by them because of them. And that's what we're seeing with Donald Trump. So in fact, everything that Mitt Romney said today, I guarantee you, it is a confirmation to those who support Donald Trump. To them, it's confirmation that the establishment is rotten, that the establishment is no good, that the establishment is out to manipulate and take control or take advantage of their votes. So everything that Mitt Romney said today, though, everyone on the outside looking in was like, pretty good job, Mitt. You showed some backbone, Mitt. You showed some character that you didn't have in 2012 when you took the endorsement from Donald Trump, when you took the donations from Donald Trump. That, of course, didn't come up. But everyone with the objective lenses looked and said, okay, pretty good job. And I think the establishment thought that they did a great job putting Mitt Romney up there. But in reality, I think it's going to have the exact opposite effect. I'm willing to put money on it, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to just jump in here. I have a Noah in the room. I have Solomon in the room. I want to get you guys' opinion. Do you think that this speech from Donald Trump is going to do anything? I'm sorry, the speech from Mitt Romney is going to have any type of negative effect on Donald Trump, or do you think it's going to, like I think? I honestly believe that it's actually going to help Donald Trump because we're living in that kind of political environment. What do you guys think?
I say anything short of him endorsing, I mean, not endorsing, but actually jumping in the race himself is meaningless for him. Anything he says can do nothing. Anything anyone has said has done nothing to even make Trump skip a beat. You have to do things. And him getting in the race and causing a media storm that would suck attention away from Trump and completely reshape the race is the only thing that I don't even know if Trump would lose in that scenario, but it would get him off his game. And no one has even been able to do that yet. So him giving a speech about how he doesn't like Trump's attitude in terms of what he's done to the Republican Party. What is that? How is that new? That's what his supporters like. Right. So that is meaningless to me, unless him or someone else in the Republican establishment. I don't know really who else besides Mitt Romney, because he was in the last cycle. Maybe Paul Ryan. They're the only two I could think of who could possibly.
But they both represent the establishment, right? And they represent. Okay, let's put it in context, right? A lot of people don't like when I talk about this, but in actuality, and then I'm sorry, I'm going to throw it right to you. In actuality, what's happening on the Republican side is very democratic, right? Whether you like who they're picking, whether you like Donald Trump, what's happening is very much democratic. Now, there's propaganda, there's media spin, there's a frenzy, there's nationalism, there's nativism, there's all types of negative things that are happening, but it's very democratic. And so they see anyone like Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney as people from the establishment who's trying to crush their voices. And in actuality, that's what they're trying to do. Now, we all are disgusted with what Donald Trump is gathering and rallying, but it is still democratic. And everything that the establishment does to try to crush it, I think, makes it stronger. Noah, what do you think?
Yeah. I think that part of the problem, too, is that Mitt Romney doesn't really have any credibility. He was
endorsed Trump, like 6 months ago, a few months ago. I mean, I don't even know how, less than a year. So, I mean, whatever Mitt Romney's saying now, like, I'm sure, the establishment needs a champion, but at the same time, they pretty much, that ship has sailed. That time to shut Trump down was months back when everybody was like, ha ha ha, oh yeah, this is good for business or whatever. I mean, now they're freaking out, but at the same time, this is going to have to play its course. And again, like Solomon said, unless Mitt is going to get in the race himself, because Rubio is not.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
Yep.
And Ted Cruz is pathologic. Ted Cruz is, honestly, I know everyone's like, oh my God, we got to stop Trump. We do. But at the same time, Ted Cruz actually scares me even more. So I kind of don't mind Trump being from our standpoint, because our candidates do better against Trump anyway.
Right.
So I'm for it. But I don't think that Mittens is really going to have much. Like you were saying, it's going to make people digging even harder, because his come back to haunt him, right? Because it's the same things that are galvanizing people now, on both, when we're looking at both insurgent campaigns, so to speak, right, on both sides of the coin. He has a very elite standpoint to some extent, and the average working just is really.
I know I'm starting to get every other one. We're really gonna have to talk to the
Comcast. Comcast sucks.
Comcast in Georgia.
Let's get her some Google Fiber.
Yeah,
she deserves it.
Google Fiber in Atlanta.
Yeah, I heard. I was like, oh, the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, no, seriously, if it's there, we need to find out how to get it to you, because we can't keep missing that great commentary. Listen, we're going to circle back and talk more about Donald Trump and Mitt Romney, because I think it's worth talking about, because it is beyond fascinating to me. I'm sorry, you guys are going to get tired of me at this point, because it is a realignment election happening right before our eyes, and you don't get to live through those often, right? The last one that really happened, and political scientists are still debating over whether or not it was really a realignment, was 1964 and then the 1968. So this is the first one in almost 50 years, or more than 50 years. Go ahead.
Wouldn't 88 for Jesse Jackson also count someone as I guess he was denied his realignment, but I guess in denial was a new realignment for the Democratic Party. Is that they went full bore to corporate centrism when
yeah. What year? 1988.
His first run.
I think that actually happened. I don't think it happened in 88. I think it happened before 88. I think it was. I think the election was sealed in 92. I think when Bill Clinton was elected into office, that's when we finally got an election where the coalition that came from that election were blue dog Democrats, or just right of center Democrats. So in terms of an actual election, 1988 pretty much kept everything the same, because not Ronald Reagan, but George H.W. won that year. So it was consistent. But then 92, 4 years later, I would say that there was a quiet realignment that I don't think anybody realized what happened until 6 months ago, a year ago, where it's really everybody now has realized that Bill Clinton, God bless him, Bill Clinton was right of center and did more damage. I mean, not 6 months ago. So let's say maybe 3 or 4 years. It's starting to be a public consensus that Bill Clinton was very much a right-leaning Democrat. But in terms of this election, we're seeing a realignment really happening on both parties, but very dramatically happening in the Republican Party, where now you have top establishment Republicans talking about defecting to come support Hillary Clinton. And you have some that say they'll come support Bernie Sanders, but they all are saying, oh, we'll support Hillary Clinton long before we support Donald Trump. And this is so unique because it's happening because of the personality of one man. Not because of the Civil Rights Act, which shifted us in '64 and was sealed in 1968. This is happening because of the hubris and the arrogance of one man. So you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I tried to ignore Trump as long as I could, which was about 2-3 weeks. But at this point, when you see the Republican Party falling apart before your eyes, that speech today was a eulogy, in my opinion. You know, everybody thought Mitt Romney did a great job, but to me, that sealed the deal. The establishment Republican Party is dead on arrival, and I don't know how they will survive unless they cannot survive as an establishment without destroying their base. That's those are the cards they have. Go ahead.
What do you think the chances are now of a brokered convention now? Because actually, as this has kept going, I actually feel like it's the chances of it happening are going up. Which everyone thought, as Trump showed his dominance, it was going to they're just going to give up and support him. But this resistance that they're playing, I think either Trump gets nominated and it completely destroys the party and the party splinters into pieces, or they broker a convention and refuse to give him the domination, and the Republican Party is eliminated and splintered. Right. Either way, that's going to be a fascinating discussion. But I kind of feel like that option is also possible.
But here's the real choice, right? The real choice is what gets fractured: the establishment or the base. If they do a brokered convention, the base gets fractured and they're going to lose. If Donald Trump wins, then the establishment is fractured. They probably will still lose, but then they also lose that core power structure in the Republican Party. I think they're going to go with a brokered convention because that core power structure, those are the last people to die, man. Those are the last people that are jumping off the ship of the Titanic, right? No, I'm sorry. They're the first ones off. They're the first ones in the lifeboats, and they're going to safety while the rest of the party is going to burn and go down in flames. So I would put more money on them doing a brokered convention because I just don't see the powers that be. I see them more willing to lose this election and lose their base and try to form a new coalition so long as they themselves, let's say 100 of them, are still holding power. So that would be my best guess just off the top of my head. But I try to get away from the conversation so we can shift gears. Let's move on. We'll come back and talk about it a little more later. I want to welcome two guests with me tonight, with all of us. It's not just me tonight. But I want to welcome from Women for Bernie Sanders. It's a grassroots organization with a Facebook page of with 72,300 fans or likes. I know that number because when I went on earlier today, they had 72,000